Hello lads, lassies, and those of unspecified gender, it's the Irishman here, and today I'm going to be talking about what would have happened if Goku got the ultimate form. This is the fourth part to this what if, and if you have not already seen the other three parts, I would greatly recommend you go check those videos out before coming back to this one. Goku, Vegeta, and Broly are all training in the God Ki realm, trying to get a mastery over this new form of Ki, energy they're not really familiar with, but are slowly and surely adapting to. Broly is having the most trouble and is actually at basically the same stage as Goku and Vegeta, despite the latter two actually getting there far after the hulking Saiyan. Although all of them, while sparring with each other, are utilizing God Ki in their regular transformations. Broly in his full power Super Saiyan state, Goku in his ultimate form with Kaioken times 20 active, and Vegeta in his Super Saiyan 4 form. All three are practically equal, seeing as they are all adapting to God Ki and therefore can only move as far as they get in God Ki Mastery. So they are all, even though differing levels of power, at basically the same point when it comes to progress, allowing them to train at basically the same level. However, while this is all going on, outside of the God Ki realm on Beerus's planet, the God of Destruction is approached by another one of his colleagues. The God of Destruction for Universe 6, his brother, Champa, who is looking to have a food competition, seeing who has the most delicious treats. And, of course, seeing as Beerus has cup ramen, he wins. That stuff is absolutely amazing. And no matter what kind of egg Champa has, it's not beating cup ramen. You can have eggs in cup ramen, realizing that nothing Champa has would ever be able to beat the delectable food that Beerus has on Earth. Even the most simple of treats was able to outclass anything he has. He would decide to hold a tournament with his brother, choosing that if he cannot outclass him in terms of food, he'll be able to outclass him in terms of battle prowess with his incredible warriors. Little did he know, Beerus has some pretty insane fighters on his side as well, and so a 5v5 tournament would be set up. Although this time it wouldn't actually resemble the Tenkaichi Budokai or Strongest Under the Heavens tournament, seeing as Goku wasn't there to suggest it. So instead, it's a free-for-all between two sets of 5 fighters between the two universes. Now all that's left is for Universe 7 to pick their 5 fighters. The 3 most obvious combatants would be Goku, Vegeta, and Broly, seeing as all 3 of them are still training on Beerus's planet and currently trying to get a mastery over God Ki, which would definitely lend their team an edge over whatever weird fighters Champa would pick. And then for the other 2 slots, I'm going to have to give it to Gohan and Piccolo, both of which would be incredibly powerful, seeing as Piccolo is going to keep up with his training no matter what timeline it is, and Gohan has currently been keeping up with his training on his own, although he probably would still focus on sparring with Piccolo time and again, making sure that they're at relative levels. Considering Gohan has Super Saiyan 4 and still has his own potential, which means he's growing at an exponential rate, Piccolo should also be keeping up with that. And how do I suggest that he might actually try and keep up with Gohan's insane potential growth? Well, the dragonballz. Yes, I do believe Piccolo here would utilize a wish on the dragonballz far earlier on, choosing to have his own potential unlocked, that way he could actually keep up with Gohan in terms of training prowess. And he also gets a flashy new form to go along with it, and in certain situations, even a limit breaker form that changes him into Orange Piccolo, which is really cool, and pretty nice to actually see him get a transformation after all this time. Nonetheless, now with the fighters picked, all that's left to do is prepare while Champa actually gets the ring and all of that stuff ready. And how would they do this? Well, Goku, Vegeta, and Broly would go inside of the Room of Spirit and Time, bringing in some extra rations, that way they can go in for as long as Goku and Vegeta did in the main story, working on any ideas or projects they might have had to further their power. while Gohan and Piccolo mostly just make sure that they are well rested and all put together, that way they are at peak fighting strength. Once everything was all set up and everybody was ready, it was time to go to the Nameless Planet to begin the free-for-all, and that's what they would all do. All of Universe 7's fighters would get in position up against Universe 6's fighters, and there wouldn't be any written test, seeing as that was something that Vegeta suggested, that way there wouldn't be any mindless drones. I do suspect, even given the slight change in rules, that Champa's fighters do not change basically at all. This means the fighters for Universe 6 are Botamo, Frost, Magetta, Kaba, and Hit, in that order. Although it's not like that matters much, seeing as they would all be put up against Universe 7's 5 fighters in a free-for-all rather than set matches. So now let's get on to how the Brawl would actually end up going. At the start, they would all focus on their own individual fights, which would line up somewhat like this. Botamo would be taken on by Piccolo. They would both be some of the bigger fighters in the ring, while Goku tries to fight against Hit and Vegeta takes on Frost. Kaba would be handled by Gohan, while Broly would try and fight off Magetta, seeing as, surprisingly, they are of somewhat comparable size. The first person to be taken out, specifically by a ring out, would be Botamo. Yes, I do believe there would still be ring outs here, seeing as that just makes sense, and for 2 of these fighters, there needs to be ring outs. Botamo would be taken out by Piccolo relatively easily, and he probably wouldn't even need to go into his orange form. After that, the next person I realistically see actually being knocked out of the ring, or possibly just incapacitated, would be Kaba, seeing as Gohan's base is probably stronger than what Vegeta's was in this tournament, and if he really needs to, Gohan can go all the way up to Super Saiyan 4, something that Kaba really can't do. He doesn't even know how to do Super Saiyan, let alone the 4th stage of that. So Kaba, although probably getting some advice from Gohan, would still be taken out, probably without even learning how to go Super Saiyan. Next would be Magetta, who Broly would find some way to take out, either by berating him or just overpowering him and pushing him out of the arena. If need be, Piccolo would probably step in to help him, that way they can actually brute force him out of the ring. There's not really any other way to take down Magetta, and, well, Piccolo is also extremely disadvantaged by Magetta's incredible fire-based powers, seeing as it was kind of drawing him out. And as a creature that mostly relies on water for sustenance, well, Piccolo wasn't exactly dealing too good with that. Surprisingly to everybody in the ring, the next person to be taken out would be Goku, seeing as Hit was incredibly powerful and Goku didn't yet awaken to Super Saiyan Blue, instead, at best, getting Super Saiyan God mixed in with his ultimate form, which he could probably amp up to times 50, maybe even times 100, but at best, that'd just be Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 2, which isn't going to fare very well against Hit, seeing as Goku needed to go up to times 10 to actually match Hit's incredible power. So Goku is actually taken out here. Even if his base is stronger, he still just really can't compare when he doesn't have that same mastery over God Ki. So yeah, Goku's out. Although this is definitely a setback, it's not all that really, seeing as Frost was the last member other than Hit in Universe 6, and really Vegeta was mostly just toying around with him because he looks like Frieza. So after knocking Frost out, the rest of Universe 7 would just gang up on Hit. We have a somewhat weaker Orange Piccolo, Vegeta who has Super Saiyan 4 mixed with God Ki, Broly who has his full power Super Saiyan state mixed with God Ki, and Gohan who also has Super Saiyan 4. Needless to say, these 4 incredibly powerful fighters ganging up on Hit would lead to him being knocked out or incapacitated. Either way, it's a win for Universe 7 and a win for Beerus. Although Beerus' mocking doesn't last long, as suddenly everyone goes quiet as 3 mysterious figures rise out of the ground of the tournament arena. It turns out, this was Zeno, the Omni King, who was coming to congratulate Beerus on his win, as well as saying that that was a very fun tournament, and he would love to host another one like it. Now, bowing even more profusely, Beerus and Champa would agree 100 times over, saying that they'll hold 1,000 more tournaments for your greatness, your awesomeness, Lord Zeno, or really whatever else they would need to say to get the point across that they want to please him. So, Zeno, now thoroughly satisfied with the response he was given, would prepare to set off, although Goku would still approach him, becoming close friends with the Omni King very quickly. He did a very cool hand gesture where he shook the Omni King up and down. It was very entertaining. So now, Zeno, even more satisfied, would leave, but making sure to tell Goku to keep in touch. And then, as everyone would begin to head their separate ways, Beerus would explain to Goku that the Omni King is a very powerful being, and to not get on his bad side. As a few more months pass, and Goku, Vegeta, and Broly actually end up gaining perfect control over their godly ki, even being able to adapt it into the forms they use basically seamlessly, Broly getting mastered full power Super Saiyan Blue, Vegeta getting Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker, and Goku being able to advance his ultimate form even further, with a regeneration factor allowing him to use even higher levels of Kaioken, they would hear a sudden scream in the distance while sparring. A yell of pure rage coming from Beerus as his power suddenly shoots up to unprecedented levels, although it is quickly shot back down as another one flares even higher. They can feel that power. It's familiar and terrifying. It's Frieza.